everybody. Welcome to Junk Jaw Reseller Podcast. My name's James, or you can call me by Jay. And this is...
I'm Ray. And
nice to meet you, man.
Yep.
Awesome. How you feeling today?
Doing all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is our first podcast, so if you're listening to us for the first time, hey, welcome. Thank you. I guess we'll start out by telling us a little bit about yourself. So, Ray, tell us a little bit about yourself, brother.
All right. So I have an eBay store, Macari store, Poshmark. Also selling Depop, all under the names Triple R Collections. Mainly selling. My niche is mostly sports memorabilia or stuff like that, but I pretty much sell almost anything at this point. What about you, Jay?
Well, I sell on mostly eBay. I do a little Facebook stuff, but you can find me at the Flea Market TV. The Flea Market TV. I usually specialize in, video games and systems and consoles. That's what I love. That's the kind of things I like, pop culture. But I'll sell a little bit of everything. If I can make $1 off of it, I'll do that. I also sell on Saturdays at the flea market, make a couple bucks.
Mm-hmm.
That's me, and we're just here. We're here to talk shop, and
Kind of just hang out.
Hang out, give you a little pointers and hints, and just get to know us, and be a part of the community. So, like I said, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
So, how was sales this week?
They're slow. It kind of summer slowdown. It's kind of get that a little bit every year. At some point, usually I don't have it this early. I don't know why. Last year I had it in September. That was my worst month last year, and now I feel like the past couple of months has been a little slow. It's picking up a little bit. I did have a couple sales past couple of days, so hopefully it's on its way up.
That's right. Yeah, on an uptick. It has been slow. You give it to you. It's just, and I try to combat it by just listing a little bit more stuff. I've been listing a little bit more every day, but my schedule's been so busy and so hectic.
It's hard to balance it. It really is. When it comes down to it, it's just hard to balance everything. Our regular daily life. It's a lot of things between what we want to do, what our expectations are every single day, what the tasks that we want to get done. Sometimes it seems nearly impossible because I feel like it's never ending. The way we buy stuff, honestly, it is never ending. I have probably one of the worst death piles that really anybody has. I shouldn't say that because I know there's some really, really bad ones out there, but and I don't want to have a death pile, but I have a whole spare bedroom that's completely filled to the brim of just stuff. I refuse to the point I don't want to get a storage unit, but if I kept buying on this pace, I would definitely have to, or I have to list more.
Yeah, that's just the way it is. I'm a little scared. I don't know why I do that. I have this fear,
it's the FOMO.
I might run out of stuff, and it's but I'm not really going to run out of things. So I have a storage unit that I have a 10 by 20 that I use, and then I have a whole basement that I have, and it does get to be too much. It runs through my house, and I have to worry about moving this and moving that. And the wife gets on your nerves, but
it's one of those things that I think a lot of people don't quite understand about reselling. It's difficult when you run it out of your house because there's a point where it kind of gets mixed in with your normal living area, and so you have to do your best to try to separate that. And it's tough. A lot of times when I come in from the flea market or yard selling, I'm tired. Getting up at crack of dawn, trying to get out there, especially right now in the summer when it's just so hot out, I'm miserable. I want to lay down for a nap, so I drop everything and grab something to drink, and I'm out. I'm out on the couch most of the time. It's tough to find the energy even to move forward from there.
Those are my favorite naps of all time. The post flea market naps, like I do, like 'cause I leave. I'm at the flea market at like 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah, you
By
have
the
to
time,
start earlier than
by
I
the,
do.
by the time I'm finished, I might be back home like 3 o'clock.
Hmm.
But that's like I love the post flea market naps.
Yeah,
I love it.
yeah, I know. It's just one. It's because you're out in the heat. You're out in the sun. You're moving around, doing stuff like. I mean, I don't know. I think between all that and the combination of getting up early, it is one of the most exhausting things. I don't know why, but
Yeah.
I still do it. Like I love picking. So I mean, it's one of the things I always try to make a point of if I can. And it's one of those things also like getting. If I don't go, I have FOMO, the fear of missing out. Um, I don't know. I mean, how many times have you stayed home from the flea market and you know you hear somebody else getting some kind of deal and you're like, man, I wish I was there and I would have gotten that.
Oh yeah, and then you kind of get like, man, it's like I missed out, and then sometimes then anger sometimes sets in because you're mad at yourself, or then you're
And and it
jealousy and
and I kind of get on this streak where I just nonstop want to go. Now I've been going to probably I mean the past couple of weeks I've still been going even though the weather hasn't been quite fantastic. I mean it's got a sale.
nice.
Cha-chings.
Ching ching
I got
ching
more.
ching.
It will. Oh, so sorry for this cha-ching break. It's going off. Like I just had what I had was somebody just paid for something. I had more of those stickers. So
Nice.
as the listeners don't know, I bought a collection. Real quick, I'm gonna cut this in that I bought a collection of mostly stickers from the '80s, and they have been like kind of a hidden gem for me. I had no idea that some of these stickers were pretty sought after. I had like a 3 pack of stickers, like they were probably like maybe about that big around or something, but um, maybe I think like about 3 or 4 inches around, something like that. But they were $150 for just 3 stickers, and it was definitely one of my best finds like of the year. Just because it was super easy to list, it's super easy to ship. It's everything that I could dream of when I want to sell something is, be able to get it up quick, to sell it quick, and to be able to easily ship it. It's
Stickers.
it's great, but but yeah, get, getting back,
I can't blame you. That's
yeah, man, keep getting these interruptions on our first
I,
podcast, things and phone calls.
yeah, don't mind that.
We're busy people.
Yeah, we're taking our time out to to sit around and talk shop and have and then, so we figure out what we're gonna do and then hopefully you know we give you some information and we
Yeah,
get the feedback from the community and
yeah. I mean, this is really just us hanging out. I mean, I met Jay. I'll get into the story because nobody on here's heard it. So what was it, like a few years ago?
yeah, it was a few years ago.
Yeah, a few years ago or so. Um, I was out yard selling and I'm just go to this community yard sale not too far from me, and every single sale in that community, like every single house I'm stopping at, this guy right here, Jay, and his brother, Kenny, they both were just in front of me the whole entire time. No matter what I did, I would jump around. I'm like, okay, they're dealing with this house. You know what? I'm gonna try to jump ahead of them, see if I get a score at the next place, like before they get there. And no matter what I did, somehow they must have done the same thing. I don't they I don't know. They jumped in front of me, and just the whole day. I'm getting tired of it. I'm like, man, what is this? Like, what is this going on? And I mean, I picked up some great stuff too, but so we're both picking different things, so it's not that big of a deal. But I leave from there to go to another community yard sale, and that's not probably about like 10-15 minutes away from there, and I head there, and what happens? They're in front of me there. and it's just from there on, still again, house to house, almost. They're in front of me. I'm like, what is going on? Like, this is crazy. And so I'm like, you know what? I picked here enough. I'm gonna go to the flea market. That's my my watering hole, or that's like one of my favorite places to pick. No matter what, I go there usually almost every week anyway. But I head there, and as soon as I pull in my parking spot, I just see them walking up, right up to the door. I'm like, you got to be kidding me! Like,
I don't know how we did it. We were
three,
just
like you guys must have been flying down the road too, or something, because I don't understand. But like, it got to the point where I seen them enough, and I seen them inside, and I'm like, you know what? This is enough. I'm gonna say something, because I'm like behind you guys all day. So, and that's kind of how
it was destined
we
to
met.
be that way.
Huh?
Yeah, as it was destined to be that way.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
and it's. I mean, I think I might have seen them maybe a couple weeks prior to all that at another yard sale, like a little community yard sale, and I seen them, and I didn't really think anything much of it then. But then when I seen them, that week were two back-to-back yard sales, community yard sales, um, and then the flea market. I was like, okay, this is enough.
Yeah. And that's how we became friends. That's so. That's,
Yep. Yeah. I mean, rivals, but friends.
yeah, friends. Yeah, we're not much right. I mean,
No,
we do pick some of the same. We do pick some of
yeah.
different, and
Well, it's kind of like one of those things. We were out earlier this year, and um, I kind of like, if there was like sports stuff, I was going towards that. If it was video game stuff, you're going towards that. Like, we were at the house, that yard sale around the corner from my house, and I seen, like, you were kind of picking up some toys, and I was like, hey, did you see those video games under there? I know you do video games more than I do, so I was like, trying to let you know, hey, like,
yeah,
there's a score right there. Why don't you try to get it? But and that's kind of, I think, how it'll work. I'm sure you do the same thing if you've seen sports stuff. You're
yeah,
like, I don't really care. You know what I mean? It's not my
yeah.
thing.
That's not my. That don't
Yeah.
set me on fire.
But I mean, if you found it at the right deal, at the right price, you still buy it and try to flip it too. So it's,
Yeah,
I mean, we would both do that with whatever categories, like, is our niche, and but when we're together, we just help each other out when we just
yeah.
hang and pick together. Yep.
That's right.
Yep.
Anything that's going to make us a buck. I mean, that's what we're. That's
Yeah.
what we do.
I mean, it is kind of crazy to think, just how many things you can buy, like, out there, like, like different things. Like, everybody is looking for different things, but the how many things that are truly out there. And I know, like I said, we both have FOMO pretty often, but I mean, I can go Saturday, can be sold out at flea market, spot wise, like, there's no spots left, and you think all the pickers are going to get every single thing, and then you never know, when you go Sunday, there might be other things there, or different people, not just different vendors, but like sometimes, like, it's things that, like, we're at the bottom of a box that nobody even dug through.
And nobody even dug.
Yeah.
That's right. And I
I mean,
even like I was saying earlier, I have a fear of like never going to be finding anything again. But I know that fear is like it's not real because there's so much out there to buy. There's
yeah,
so much to learn, and
yeah.
in every category there's a tremendous amount of things.
I mean, you see how much, like, Goodwill is throwing out, like, all the time. That tells you how much stuff is out there all the time.
Yeah.
They literally have just, like, dumpsters or pallets full of just trash that they don't care about. I mean, you can even probably go drive by most Goodwills, and you'll literally see just stuff sitting outside. Like, they don't care if it gets rained on. They don't, it's just whatever. Like, it's not, they don't even have enough time. They don't, I feel like, to go through everything, or, yet I don't understand their pricing if it's that high.
Yeah.
If you're buying that much in bulk, they're not even buying it, like, most of the time. I mean, they do buy some stuff, but getting that much in bulk, you think their business model would be get rid of it quicker, but it's not.
It's not.
You know, and it's kind of crazy to think that. I mean, I'm not down to go. Well, I do go there every once in a while. I don't go there nearly as much as I used to when I first started reselling because it just it's just kind of it's tough. I mean, each one is different. Every single location is going to be different. It's run differently. You know, whether it's the quality of stuff that you find in there, the prices. You know, it's different. But yep.
How long have you been reselling for?
Oh man, I probably can't even count right now. It's been quite a while because I think I want to say probably around at least around like 2011 since 2011 2012.
Yeah.
I know it wasn't too long after I had met my now wife. And like or around that time when I was going to a flea market and I was setting up there selling like sports memorabilia and so I throw some stuff on eBay. So, and I don't know if that's really completely reselling, like not to the scale that I am now, but most of those signatures that are memorabilia were signatures I was getting of guys in person, signings and events and stuff like that, and then I'd sell them. So that's not completely reselling, but um, but I'd say shortly after that, I mean, I was because I worked at Rite Aid at the time. Then I went to Dick's Sporting Goods. I was still selling at the flea market, and I started scaling up more on eBay, and to the point that I wasn't liking my job, and I was like, you know what, we have a disagreement. I'm done. I'm leaving, and I was still doing only sports memorabilia on eBay. That's all I was mainly selling. And sure did I have to learn quick enough that I was going to have to expand to other categories because the sales were not very good. I quit way too early, so do not quit your job. Anybody listening, do not quit your job unless you were fully confident. And I thought I was confident, but I mean, like, double check everything because I was lucky that at the time I was also living at home with my parents. So
Right.
yeah,
Well,
but
that helps. That helps tremendously. It
yes, if
really
I
does.
now there's no way.
No.
But yeah, and then just kept expanding, and here I am now. I mean, how long have you been reselling, Jay?
Oh wow. Um, I started when I was a kid reselling. I've actually grown up in a family that
Yeah,
of resellers.
yeah, me
My,
too.
my grandmother owned a thrift store. My great grandmother owned a thrift store. My grandfather, he learned trading from the army. My
No,
father was a trash picker, and he grew up in buying and selling and trading. And I did when I was a kid. Uh, I used to trade to buy. I'd buy the old toys off the kids that they didn't, care much. They wanted it for Christmas.
mm-hmm.
They didn't. 2 weeks later, they didn't care for it, and there was toys that the other kids needed. So I was getting this stuff cheap, 25 cents, and I was selling for $1 or two. And I started doing baseball cards when I was in the fourth grade. I had a lot. I was fortunate to have a lot of video games when I was younger, so I
Mm-hmm.
would rent the video games out to the kids in the neighborhood. So I had all types of little businesses. So I've been
Yeah,
reselling for quite a long time.
I think every kid that has ever even touched a baseball card has gone through like a Beckett book or something. Well, nowadays I don't consider them really accurate, but like I know my dad, that was the go-to was check the Beckett price guide or any of the card
Yep.
price, and you go through and you're like, oh man, I got this much, and you try to sell them a little bit or trade with your buddies or something like that. I mean, I think every single kid, maybe it wasn't baseball for some kids, maybe nowadays because it's Pokemon
Yeah,
or
Pokemon.
Yu-Gi-Oh cards or Magic or whatever it is, like um, I mean, it's kind of crazy to think that I think every kid has probably gone through that and like, oh man, this is worth some money, even though 90% of it or more is not worth that much. Like I would say, it's very far and few in between. I mean,
Right.
it's any kind of trading cards or sports cards or anything like that is like to me, it's it's so much like gambling because you're
Oh yeah, absolutely.
yeah. When you buy those packs, I mean, chances are so small. You honestly you might have more chance by. I think you have more chance of getting money back on a scratch off um, than buying. those. I hate to say it because I mean I grew up opening packs or boxes and from my local card shops and I mean there's been times where I had some good stuff I pulled, nothing like crazy that was like numbered really low and I mean I remember I had pulled a Rob Gronkowski rookie autograph. So, I mean, that was probably one of my better pulls. There was times where me and my buddy when we would go in this card shop, we would both get the same box. So it'd be fun, like because we both get the same box and then see what we each of us got. And my buddy had gotten like one of his hot boxes. It had like it was supposed to have 2 autographs and 2 jersey cards in each box. No, this thing had 4 autographs and 4 jersey cards or something crazy like that. And he had happened in that box. I remember he had pulled my favorite baseball player, Vladimir Guerrero, now senior. It was a signed autograph jersey card numbered. I'm not sure exactly. I don't remember what it's numbered out of, but he pulled that out there, and I remember I was like, man, like that is such a nice card. Like I really want that. I mean, I did end up making a trade with him, like a deal with him, probably 2-3 years later, maybe something like that. And I really thankful because I still have that. I mean, that's one of my most cherished cards. I don't really collect that many cards, but I collect a lot of stuff with certain players that I've watched, or I have. I just it's kind of one of the nostalgic things that I grew up watching him, and I remember turning on ESPN Sports Center, and it seems like he was on there every single day hitting a home run. So I think that's I liked him so much.
I was always into baseball cards.
Yeah.
I like baseball. I mean, you're not sports memorabilia, just baseball cards and football cards in general. I just, my favorite. Let's see. I used to like the '89 Upper Decks.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Can't find them anymore, but Ken Griffey Jr.'s rookie.
Yeah.
Was the first card. That was a card.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your favorite year or favorite box? Do you have one?
I don't know. I mean, because I feel like I'm so out of it, and I don't particularly collect them anymore. I mean, I did for a little while they had brought back I forget if it was like a certain span of years, but it was short when they brought it back. But it was like the Topps TO6s.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But they were like the newer ones. You know what I mean? They weren't like the old stuff. So they were pretty. And actually, if you see them, they're actually because they didn't when they brought them back, they didn't make them very long. Like I said, I don't know the actual run of the years when they brought them back, but it's very short. And I think a lot of people just like them, just kind of similar to the Allen Ginters. I like the Allen Ginter.
Love Allen Ginter.
But they had that same texture and feel in the card. I think for me, I like going to different autograph signings or different events. I used when I was a kid, go or whenever like a teen, like going to ball games and trying to get player signatures and that kind of stuff. Those cards were much better for that. So that was one of the things that I think a lot of collectors or just people like the autograph, the signature popped more on the card because it's like a white background to it. And it's like I said, it's similar with the Allen Ginter. And I do love the Allen Ginter just because the complete random, like the randomness that you find in there. Some people absolutely hate that, but I love it because I want to get some kind of celebrities card or anything like that. Maybe
they have autographs on the celebrities.
Yeah, maybe a piece of their hair. They do that. It's weird. Like I seen one it had a dinosaur bone in it or something like that.
Yeah, fossil. Yep.
Yeah, even though then it said like I think it's not from that exact dinosaur. It's pictured or something to that fact. And I'm like, yeah, that sounds pretty scammy to me. Like it could be. It could be a bunny rabbit or, or something like that, or squirrel,
That's some of those people, some of those autographs they have like a George Washington or Babe Ruth autographs.
Yeah.
Some of them cards are pretty nice. One-on-ones.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's what I like about it. I mean, but I don't like much of that anymore. It's kind of
expensive.
Yeah. Well, I think that's when the prices started rising. I mean, when I started doing it, like I could get a box for about 20 to $50, and that, and that was, when I was a kid, like that was me spending my allowance, and I worked hard for that. I didn't. My parents didn't always make that much money, and if I did get money, I had to save it up for a few weeks to even get to that, to the 50, 60, or whatever it is. 20 wasn't too bad, but um, to get to $60, it was going to take a little bit. It was going to take a few weeks, I feel like,
Yeah.
and yeah, there's no way. I mean, the way the boxes can, like some boxes can be like $100 to $200 easily
Mhm.
right now, and obviously that's where the better stuff is. That's the more sought after stuff, and kids know it. I mean,
Yeah.
but I mean everything's going up. I mean,
Well,
there's
it's not. It's hard to be. To stay on this subject, but it's hard to be a kid and collect anymore because the kids do know the prices of cards. And
yeah,
you have like Topps opening day. Okay, you have a 99-cent pack of cards, but those cards aren't sought after. And those kids
yeah,
want the sought after cards. There's boxes, 3, 4,
yeah,
$500,000 boxes. It's hard to really do that.
yeah. I mean, it's that's why I think I'd rather buy a box a lot of times, out of like somebody's collection, and I just kind of slowly go through it, and I might find nothing like crazy. I'm not gonna find, most of the time I'm not gonna find anything that's worth a ton of money, but I have bought boxes before where I had a bunch of rookie cards in there that somebody didn't know they were in there. Heck, I had told you over the weekend I bought a pack. I think it was only from the 2023 trading card day, Major League Baseball trading card day, but it was like a clear pack that they kind of gave out, and I thought it was kind of cool because it had, I seen on the top it was an Adley Rushman rookie card. I'm like, well, at least that's an Adley Rushman rookie, and I don't think it's anything special because it's probably not numbered. When I was looking at it, probably paid a couple bucks for it or something, and but it had all these other. I think I had about 5 cards in there, and I went to open it up, and then the last card, because it was covered, the last card in the pack was a Gunnar Henderson rookie, and that's, I'd rather have that over the Adley,
Oh yeah.
because the way he's playing. I mean, both are playing pretty good, but I mean, the Orioles in general, one of the hottest teams in baseball, and us being from Baltimore, um, it's really exciting to see. So I kind of fallen into the hype of,
It is.
like, man, I want that.
I like to see us hit the World Series this year.
Oh yeah,
We've been there since 1983, so you know.
yeah. I mean, I don't know if we're gonna quite get that far. I mean, I hope so. I love for us to get that far, but I mean, we'll see over time. You don't, there's still a lot of games left. Um, and hopefully some of the trades that we did at the trade deadline kind of pan out, and
Yeah.
you know,
I like what Eloy Jimenez we got,
I'm worried about him
but he's had some
because he's injury prone, and that's the only thing.
injuries.
He's a well known name, and I think when he's actually active and he's able to play, I think he can do a lot of things. But it might come down to where I just feel like it might come down to where we need him the most, and then he's out,
Yep.
and then it's not going to be, for anything. So um, I mean, I'm glad that we got some pitching. I think Eflin looked. I went to his first start here in Baltimore, and was actually at that game, and he played really well for his first start. It sounded like too he was excited. So I mean, yeah. So hopefully, just keep pushing, and I mean, we're the number one team in our division. So
Yep. And we have new owners, so I'm
oh yeah,
really looking. It really makes you
yep.
think, like, what can we do and what are they going to do? Because the old owners really
Did,
didn't.
did you see Ripken is Cal Ripken's going to be in the splash zone coming up soon?
Oh, is he?
Yeah, yeah. So
Oh,
so for any listeners that don't know that, so the Baltimore Orioles had this like whole splash zone where they spray fans with water. It's just a guy out there with like a flamingo, like flotation device, like tube or whatever, and he just over there with a hose and just sprays people during the game, especially like when we hit home runs and that kind of stuff. And so Cal Ripken's actually going to be the guest over there doing that in the splash zone. So that's pretty cool, I think. I mean, even the other owner, one of the other owners, Rubenstein, I think he did it. They had, what was her name? Joan Jett. She did
yeah.
it before. So it's pretty cool because she's a big Orioles fan. To see her actually do that, a lot of people don't know Joan Jett is a huge Orioles fan, and they've had some other former players I think over there, which is cool. You know, it
Yeah.
gets everybody involved and gets everybody excited. I mean, that's what you want. I mean,
Well,
especially
Rifkin, he's a part. Is he part owner
yeah,
also?
he
Yeah.
is. Yep, yeah,
Minor stake. Yeah.
yeah. But he's. I mean, it gets people excited. I think that's one of the reasons why he became an owner and like a small stake in ownership. But it's really really exciting. I mean, a lot of people don't realize these sports teams are a business. At the end of the day, that's why like it's tough. Like they're going to trade away. They might trade away your favorite player one
Yeah.
week. They don't if they don't care completely about that. They're there to make money, and in order to make money, you're gonna have to win, and you're gonna have to get your fans excited, and I think, that's what they're doing. They're in the right direction for that. I
Sure.
mean, I wish I could get people excited about my eBay store
Yeah.
as people are getting excited about the Orioles lately because it is crazy. Yeah.
Can you imagine? But I will give it to you. I'll give you Cal Ripken. He is he stayed on our team. They didn't trade him off. He's a local
Oh,
guy, and
lifetime
man,
Oriole. Yep.
it was great to watch.
Yeah, that's what I like. Guys that spend their whole career with one team.
Yep.
It's really really unique to see. But
That
yep.
don't happen much anymore.
No.
Doesn't at
No.
all.
Nope. Nope.
No.
So any fun sales like yesterday or today
Um,
that you had?
Today was some small stuff. Nothing real fun. I think my best sale of the week was I just sold a day four yesterday. Was the Twisted Metal on PS1.
Oh
That's
yeah. Okay.
yeah, it's the black jewel case version.
Mhm.
So it's a little bit more rare than the original version. Came in a long cardboard box,
Mhm.
and then they made one that's platinum hits or
Oh,
greatest hits. So, but if you take a look at that, is the jewel case black box version. That's the
okay.
good one.
Good.
But that's nothing really. I mean, a
Yeah.
lot of video games, some smaller stuff. For your $50 sales.
Yeah. I mean,
You know,
it's no home runs or anything.
no home runs. I
Yeah.
mean,
I
there's
mean,
some people that don't sell fit 40 or
yeah. I
$50.
mean, you didn't pay much for the Twisted Metal, right?
No, I paid $2. Two
That's
bucks.
good. That's
Well,
where.
yeah, $2 into 100. I mean, that's
Yeah.
like. I mean, that's it. If you think about it, you can't put $2 in like
Yeah.
the stock market and get
Mhm.
that back. And
That's yeah. That's my favorite price at the flea market. It was like either $1 or $2 because I mean, it used to be $1 or even less, but now it's getting to a point where the dollar I feel like is like the new 50 cents. So
yeah,
$2 is kind of right around like I'm like oh yeah like I want it and then you can work a deal on. Sometimes I'm like okay it's $2 maybe I'll get three items that are $2 and get three for five. See if they'll do. I'm like oh it's just $1 off. Try to bundle a work deal. Not just so where I make a little money that they're happy that they made their money. And I mean I did have a talking about the Orioles, I did have a Orioles hat that I sold last night. Um, it was let's see, it was a vintage Orioles like pinstripe hat, and it's
yeah.
like the '90s bird logo. So it, the actual bird that looked realistic. But I sold it for $60. So I
For hats.
that too. So yeah, I
See,
had
guys.
yeah, I had some offers. I held out on Depop, and I think I had some offers somewhere else too. But like they were only offering like $20-$30, and somebody was like, I think somebody on Depop said like, "Oh, are you sure? This hat doesn't go for that much." And I'm like, I think I have the only one on here. And the Orioles are like one of the hottest teams in baseball. I think I offered to give it to them. I think for a little bit less, like than a 60, but they still didn't want it, and I was like, well, I'm gonna stick to that price. I countered you, and they didn't want it, and I got full price for it. So I love it when that happens.
I love it too.
Yep.
It's true. People want something. I have one guy now that I have a Zelda Wind Waker game. I just don't have the outer artwork of it, but I
Mhm.
have all the inserts in the manual, and I put it out for regular market price, $59.99. It's actually it could go anywhere from 64, 67, whatever. So I sent the guy an offer. I gave him 10% off. He comes back at $40, and I'm like, and I sent him back. I said, you know what? Just for you, the lowest I'll do is $49.99. I've already taken $10 off this item, because I just saw
Yeah.
things in front of it. This guy's like $47, and I messaged him back again with the same price, and I said I'm not going any lower. He hits me back again today, $48. I have to stick to my guns.
It's tough. I mean, for a long time, I didn't accept offers on eBay. On maybe a few items I would. I wasn't sure the exact price. Like, say if I had the only one listed or anything like that. I mean, that's a good time to use the best offer because you might have it dramatically like just overpriced and you don't know it, but it brings into some realization of where the actual price point is at when people can give you offers that way. But um, I I feel like I do get a lot more offers now, obviously because I turn them on and a lot of them are pretty low. It's kind of a pain to deal with. I mean, it's just more time. I not having that turned on before on eBay. Um, I I know it took less time out of my day, and I feel like because I just had like 3 or 4 offers this morning, I wouldn't have had that. And whether I have to counter back or figure out if I want to accept. Because each item is going to be a different price point. You got to think, okay, what did I pay for that? Where it's going to be profitable. Now, I know Macari and Poshmark and Depop, all 3 other platforms I sell on, they allow offers to also. But I think that's why I ultimately decided I was like, you know what? If they're gonna have offers on all the time, I might as well do it on eBay. And it honestly is it's one of the things that I feel like has boosted my business. It's just more time consuming on that side because I sell more stuff on eBay than any other platform. But it's just like it's definitely helped because people want a deal. At the end of the day,
Yeah,
people want a deal.
I don't mind giving them deals. Sometimes people are just go really crazy with it. That's why I
Yeah,
stopped going best offer on mine.
yeah,
But I'll see people who watch the items, and then I'll give them offers, and they're able to counter offer me after they
yeah,
watch the item and I send an offer. But
yeah,
like I'll have a video game that's obviously worth $100. I'm selling it for $95. I'll sell it below market, and you'll still have somebody comes back $50, and then you're trying to go, okay,
Worse, you see it, they'll do 10.
yeah, that it's crazy. Like,
Yeah, I
and,
think
and
sometimes they're trying to feel you out. You know what I mean? See where
yeah,
you're at because you don't know. At the end of the day, that person on the other side of that screen, they might be a reseller too, and maybe
yeah,
they're trying to meet their price point to get it to their customer. And they're like, hey, like you never know if you're having a really bad month or whatever, you might accept it. Or if you're just having a really good day, you're like, I'm so happy, I'm in a really good mood, you might accept it. So you don't know. It depends on just hitting it at the right time. I mean, sometimes I'll throw like a little more of a percentage off that I usually would, a few dollars more off than, I'll, because I'm like, you know what, just get rid of it. You gotta mark it down, get it out. You know,
yeah.
it's
I don't mind. I don't mind marking it out,
yeah,
marking it down, getting in. I don't. But then there comes to a point that especially some things that sell really well.
yeah,
I mean, I'll send them down just to make the customer happy.
yeah,
But you should only go so far at times.
yeah. I think everybody has a percentage or a price when they list something like what their lowest is or like how they would calculate like what their lowest price what they're willing to go for any customer that comes in there and looks. I, it's I mean I'm not giving out my percentage on here. I don't want to because I don't want people you know trying to send me those offers nonstop. I mean I'll take it, but at the end of the day, I would rather get full price for stuff. I think anybody would. And I'll deal with people. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, like
but
I've had people offer me, send me offers, and like, you know, I've sold something for $100, 75 bucks, and I don't mind it. And before I get to it, somebody's already bought it full price.
yeah,
So
oh,
yeah,
yeah, that happens too. Like, and that's how you know if you have like a lot of watchers on it. A lot of people sending you offers and stuff. Then you kind of know, okay, I'm not really going to budge on this. Especially even if you listed something in like a minute or two later, you have offers on it, that's how I feel like you got something that's really hot or popular or that was sought after.
yeah,
It's a small group. It might just be two or three people
right.
entirely in the world that wants this thing, but it's still sought after enough that that quickly that you're going to have, you know, they're competing for it. You're not competing for it. They're competing because they're,
They're paying for it. That's
you
right.
know, like who's gonna take the plunge first of just saying, you know what, I'll buy it at full price, or maybe I'll buy it for only a couple of dollars off instead of the 5 or 10 that I'm hoping to get, because at the end of the day, that's going to be better than nothing.
I will say with my stuff, I never, when I usually put it on, I usually have it at a really good price. It's priced to sell. I either go below market. It's very rarely that I'll go above market unless
Yeah,
there's only a few. You have to take into effect. There's a few left, or how bad they want the item, or
yeah,
if you can get more from it. Like I could have got more for you know, the twisted
hmm,
metal, but I didn't. So not get it out of the door, and it went in less than a day.
yeah. I mean, I agree. Like I I'd agree a little bit. So I do like the average price. That's my idea. Is I'd rather do the average price because that gives me a little wiggle room. Um, and I not the highest price because that's going to take forever to even get. Seller might never sell because people are going to look at it thinking well, why when there's like two or three others that are cheaper than mine. But yeah, I'm okay having like one or two because again, especially now because I have best offer, so that gives me that wiggle room. Like there maybe my shipping's cheaper than theirs. Maybe it's closer. They think they're going to get it quicker, so they're looking at not just that, but they're looking at the distance, and it's just a lot of factors. I feel like that can pull into be the reasoning of why I won't do the lowest or like what I mean or undercut too much. I just rather be average. I'm an average guy.
Average guy with
Yeah.
average price
Average Joe.
and above average items.
Yeah. Yep.
That's cool though. How many days do you have on your shipping?
I ship 2 business days. That's it.
2 business days.
Yeah.
I keep mine at 3, but I most of the time 85% of the time I ship in one day.
Mm-hmm.
I ship the next day. So
Yeah. I mean that's good. I just think some people look into that. I don't know. I used to do like around the holidays. I used to stress and do 1 day handling time, and I think a lot of people don't understand that especially because if you're on the East Coast, I think this is what it is because we're on the East Coast. That even when it hits like past like midnight, it's not midnight over in California where eBay's headquarters are located. So we still get dinged. Like
right.
we're expected to ship that morning. You know what I mean? Like say if it's like 1 a.m. here, we got to get up and ship it in like 5 or 6 hours,
That's
whatever
it.
time we're getting up. We got to ship that morning or
Yep.
get it out that day, and that just makes it difficult. But if I got plans of I'm going to go on a day trip or maybe I got the doctors to go to, something, I can't do it.
You can't. Right. You can't. That's why.
They're
That's
out
kind
of
of why. Just in case something pops up, I
yeah
give myself a couple days.
yeah. I think 2 days is good. I like I said, I used to do the 1 day. I don't know why I put myself through that because it was very stressful. And I think I stopped doing it when I was getting the amount of orders to the point where, okay, if I'm getting so much that it's taking, you know, a certain amount of time, like maybe an hour or so to ship, or as it is, I'm not trying to stress over it. Like
Did you sell more when you had one day?
sometimes I don't know. I mean, I think there was like a year or so that I was, but like I said, ultimately my sales were getting better anyway because I kept putting in the work. I kept listing more. I kept finding better quality items. Um, I think when I it so I'll say that 1 day handling time is good if you want to compete as, especially like if you're a newcomer. You know, and a lot of people might not agree with me on this, but if you're a newcomer and you're trying to compete with the people who've been owner for a while and they know their stuff, it's one day to get the sale over me, like, or even like whether it's price wise or anything, like you can compete more when you have that 1 day, especially around the holidays, and people are very last minute.
Yeah,
Um,
they are.
I know that from working at Dick's Sporting Goods, and it was Christmas Eve one year, and we probably had to turn away like 50 people at least on Christmas Eve. Like our doors were like we're closed. Like how many people are just waiting outside? They're like, "Oh, why can't I come in?" I'm like, "We're closed."
We're closed. CLOSED.
Yeah, and it was like that too. I even when I worked at Ollie's, it was like that. I mean, just people are last minute. Like
Yeah.
they, I get it. It's a busy world. They
Yeah,
in it.
but
I mean, everybody puts stuff on the back burner.
that's why Amazon does so well too. With it's
Yeah,
like next day shipping or
yeah,
that's what
but they're able
people
to.
want.
They have a army to do their job for them.
Yeah,
We don't have an army. It's
we
just
don't have an army.
myself and I.
That's,
Because my
and
wife,
there's so much to do as a reseller too. It's like you sometimes you don't have time for everything because the way I look at it is I'm home all day long, but I also have to do a lot of the errands because things happen, things come up.
hmm
We have to make sure that we get enough product,
yeah,
or even if we have enough product, we got to make sure we got to do the shipping, we got to do the listing, we
hmm
got just anything that comes and pops up. You know, general life gets in the way too, and it's a lot easier.
yeah,
It gets in our way because we're at home and we're constantly available.
yeah,
Okay, we can stop because we have no boss. We are our own boss, and it's the hardest part is
yeah,
to be a self starter and to
mhm,
boss your own self.
yeah.
It is.
I mean, it's something I think I've battled the entire time of being a reseller. I mean, I have to. I honestly, I make lists of all my tasks that I want to do, and that's how I like. I have to have a list. I'm a list person because like I need a list, so I know I need to list stuff.
Yeah.
So I get the list.
I'll get lazy, and like sometimes I get lazy a lot too. Like I'm like, I plan on doing something,
Oh, you
but
went.
oh no,
Uh-oh. There we go. There we go.
I plan on doing. You know what? Let me put this on the charger.
Malfunctions.
Sorry, guys, my charger.
Yeah, I mean it's gonna happen. I mean we're gonna have technical difficulties. This is our first podcast, so we're just trying to get a hang of things. So I mean anybody listening, especially this far in the podcast, thank you because I don't know how many people are going to be hanging around.
No, but if you can only listen to us for
Yeah,
20 minutes and then do
yeah.
20 minutes the next day,
I mean that's what
tell
I
your
with any of the podcasts I listen to. I just listen to them maybe while I'm at this desk that I'm right here at right now. So I'm doing my shipping or maybe I'm doing like some markdowns or I'm cross posting stuff, whatever it is, whatever it may be. Um, as long as I'm at this desk right here where I'm at, I'm usually listening to a podcast, or sometimes I'll listen to some music, but um, I'll definitely listen to a podcast almost all the time when I'm right here.
yeah.
Yep.
What do you use to take all your pictures?
I just use my phone, so I have like an iPhone SE. It's nothing crazy. I mean, just a basic iPhone. I forget. I don't even know how many megapixels, but I've been using it for a while. I bought it maybe a couple of years ago or something like that,
Yep.
and it's been great.
I
I
believe Mac stuff has the best the best cameras. Like I use an iPad to do my listings.
Mm-hmm.
I bought probably, I don't know, maybe it's been some years now, maybe 4 years now, but it's it's wonderful.
Yeah.
It really is.
I mean, I don't know how well because I'm using the same phone right now to record this podcast, like on my end. Um, so I'm using the same phone, so I don't know how the quality, especially compares to other phones. But I mean, it works just fine for what I'm doing. And
Yeah.
I specifically bought, so I have two phones that are exactly the same. One is my personal phone, and one I bought as a work phone because I was having somebody else work for me for a little bit, and I wanted the freedom of them to be able to use that and not have to worry about it. And what didn't cost that much. It was maybe like $150. I mean, it's cheap. And I think that's like pretty reasonable, especially considering that you can take pictures and list all on the same device. For $150. I mean,
Yeah,
I
that's
got
not bad.
pretty quickly with that.
Yeah, I bought my regular phone is an iPhone. I
Mm.
got it from Walmart. I think I paid 200 or 250 for its iPhone.
Yeah, you have Straight Talk too, don't you, or no?
Yeah, I have Straight
Yeah,
Talk too.
yeah, me too.
It's like iPhone
They're
12 or
undervalued. A
something.
lot of people don't realize how decent they are. I like not having a. I like. I personally like not having a phone plan where I'm paying off my phone. I don't want my phone to be so expensive I have to pay it off like make
Yes,
every month, and I think that's absolutely ridiculous. We
it is.
like and for people to do that. And I get it. Like it's a luxury of being able to do that. But for me, I mean, I there's enough payments out there that I make alone. Like, why I got a car payment. You got people have mortgage or rent, and your grocery. Like, there's so many bills. Like, why am I going to add on when I could just buy $150 or $200 phone or whatever it is like that, and it's done. I don't have to worry about it. I don't need whatever fancy. I don't even know. I mean, I'm sure the quality of the camera, everything they increase to make the quality a little better every single year. But I can't, I can't keep buying them like that.
But a lot of people they want it's all superficial. They want look what I have.
Yeah,
Look brand new.
I could care less at
I
that.
could care less.
Yeah, I mean,
And
the half the time the phone is in somebody's pocket.
yeah.
I'm not gonna care. Like, oh, you pull it out. Oh, look at that flashy thing. Like, you know,
Oh, yeah. I don't care
like
if you
the
got
car.
14 or whatever it is.
Yeah, it's not like it's a car. People are like driving around with their flashy cars. Like,
Right.
they're not they're sports cars or anything like that. There's not sports phones. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
And then you're going broke just trying to pay for your phone.
yeah,
You care what
it's yeah,
somebody else looks. Who cares?
yeah. I mean, I could care less what my phone looks like or anything. It just as long
No.
as it does the job that I need it to do.
Long as it works.
Yeah,
I don't even know how to use half the stuff on the phone, to be
yeah,
truthful. I'm not even going to lie.
yeah. I mean, it can be difficult sometimes, and then there's just so many apps. I mean, now I think we're showing our age. Like we sound old, and I know you're
Yeah,
old.
but and I'm older than you. I mean, but that's just the way it is, though. I mean,
Yeah,
we get older, but most of the better resellers are older. We're
yeah.
wiser. You know,
I
think
agree.
about it. Yeah.
I mean, everybody gains wisdom over time. I mean, we've gained a lot of wisdom from reselling and just from doing it. Like, you can't. That's the best way to learn things is to actually doing it yourself. And over time, you're going to learn so many different tips, tricks of the trade. I mean,
Yep.
whether it could be with when we ship stuff or when we're listing, um, just things to avoid. Things we should always pick up. I mean, it's going to be forever a learning process, but because the trends are going to change, the shipping prices are obviously always changing because they're increasing every year.
Every
And,
year,
yep,
like
and
twice a year.
I know it's ridiculous. I mean, it's to the point where you know you have a $5 to $10 item, or it's hard to even sell that kind of stuff on there anymore on eBay or anywhere because the shipping price is the same, if not more, than the price of the item that
That
you're.
price of the item.
And so
That's crazy.
people are basically paying double. on that. I mean, I will say that when people do buy those type items, that there's less likely for there to be a and I'm saying legitimate return, like somebody just saying, "Hey, I changed my mind," or "It didn't fit,"
Mm-hmm.
you know, because they know that they're going to pay to return shipping. And if I paid $10 for an item and I got to pay $10 to ship it back, you're not getting anything
You're
back.
not. That's
So
right.
at that point, you're just going to want to keep it.
Yeah.
So that is one of the most beneficial and I think underrated things that a lot of people don't understand. If you do sell some undervalued or like low valued items, I mean, that is one of the things I have definitely learned. I have a store with almost 6,000 items in it. I do have some lower end items. I have some higher end items. I mean, anywhere think I can make a little money, I mean, I've loaded up the store for years, and not everything's been on there for years, but uh, I work every single day. It feels like so.
Yeah, you
It's easy
do. I
to
give it
fill
to you.
out.
You're always
Yeah,
you treat it like a business. Sometimes I don't treat my business like a business because I have other things. Like I have
yeah,
my brother and I. We do have a little business together, but then we have like a
yeah,
you know a little place that we have to, and it's filled with all types of stuff that we don't put on eBay, and then that's why we sell it at the flea market on Saturday. So
yeah.
I'm kind
Yeah,
of like
yeah.
you know,
I mean,
but it's
I
good.
get that. I don't know. Yeah, I just can't find myself selling at the flea market anymore, and that's why I think. I mean, I'll do it to get rid of stuff that I've had for a while or stuff that I didn't want to list on eBay because how many buys do you come across that you buy something and you're like, never mind, this wasn't worth it, or it's too much work, or you know how many things I hate testing stuff half the time, and if it's going to be too much time or energy, work, I just throw in a pile and it goes into like a box marked for flea market or yard sale.
Yeah, that's. Hey, I meant to bring up to you about the fact of did you see the Commonwealth Picker? He started his own like place where you could set up and sell.
Yeah,
It's on District,
mm-hmm,
and it's called Commons, and
yeah,
it's for people that's selling like wholesale.
yeah.
And I was wondering if I could set some of my stuff
I
up there and
I
sell some.
think you would be very beneficial because a lot of times like the stuff that you're getting is in bulk to begin with. So I think that's actually pretty smart. I think I told you before that you should try. Like, there's a lot of Facebook pages that are wholesale Facebook pages too. If you find them, some of them can be good. I bought some things on there. I bought some hats before. They weren't all great, but they were all brand new, and I probably paid like $2 a hat, which is actually really good. And they were sports teams, so which is you can't find that anywhere. $2 a hat most of the
Oh,
time.
no, absolutely no, you
You know,
can't.
I mean, I bought them a couple years ago. I think I only have like maybe two left, but it was probably about 30 to 40 hats. Most of the ones that were the slow sale ones were the Wisconsin ones. I just sold one the other day, but at this point, I'm not really. It's I already made my money back. So
Yeah,
yep.
take it that way. I have got probably my brother and I went out. I think I got a couple hundred hats, John Deere stuff,
Mm-hmm.
some
John Deere,
puppies.
good.
Yeah, I have, they're brand new. I haven't listed any of
Other
them.
new. Okay, so they're not. Yeah, I mean they might be good for something like that, or if you want to
Yeah.
get rid of them in bulk. Or hats are easy to list. They're easy to ship. They're one of my other favorite things to sell, um, especially if they're new.
It
'Cause-
was actually I bought them from a guy on your block down
okay,
the street. Well, on the same block, but just down just
a
a
little
little
further.
further.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's cool.
Yeah, they sold me.
Stealing my deals like right down the street from me. Come on
Oh,
now.
dude, that was. I want to tell you, it was one of the best flea markets or yard sales that I've been to in a while in this area. Man, did like
When was this?
this was I don't know. This
What
could have
the-
been 3 years ago, maybe four. I
oh,
don't know.
okay.
I lose track of it, but I have
Three,
everything that I've ever bought from here. I've
you,
never.
3 years? You better get that stuff up.
You don't even. I'm gonna have to invite you over one time to
I'll
show you the
help you
stuff I have.
if you need me to. Like hats are easy. I love doing hats. I'll take pictures of hats.
I have to be able to find them. I still have that 10 by 20 storage locker filled from floor to ceiling, and it's video games and all pop culture stuff, toys, micro
Hey,
machines.
the most important thing I ever learned working retail is that it can't sell if it's in the back. Well, guess what? Your crap is in the back, so get it out on the sales floor. Seriously.
I'm serious. I'm not joking with you. My wife's
I
like,
can't say much here because I have it. Like I said, I have a death pile too. So
I feel for the death pile, but I told you why I have a death pile is I always feel like I'm never going to find anything, and I know that's a lie.
But if you have easy stuff like that in the death pile, my stuff I think is electronics that I don't want to test, or I have these Legos that I don't think is complete set, and I don't know. I need to go through it and just say, you know what, forget it. I'm just going to get my money back. But with some of the stuff, but it's stuff that takes time or is tedious. Hats, like they're the easiest thing, man.
I know they are. They are easy. Another thing I got a whole box of GameStop. I got from GameStop the posters that have like Super Smash Brothers and stuff like that. I got a whole box full of them.
Oh wow!
Those are take pictures. They will sell like hotcakes. I've got so much stuff. Man.
Well, next podcast I'm going to ask you, hey, how many of these did you get up?
Next podcast, I'm going to take this and show you what it looks like.
No, I want to see them. Yeah, you can show me what it looks like on your eBay listing.
Probably not going to happen. But
you can insert a screenshot of into the podcast, just edit it in, and I'll see it there.
I'm really gonna go on the edge and say this. I don't know 100%, but I would say I probably have somewhere around, not counting what my brother and I have,
Mm-hmm.
$250,000 worth of merchandise.
Yeah.
Not listed.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Maybe more. I don't know. It's a whole lot.
You got to do it. I mean, I know it takes time, and I know it's hard. Like, so what this podcast is going to do for us, maybe we'll hold each other accountable, and we're going to check in every week to see, okay, so right now, you have to get those things up, okay? You know what, I said this before, a lot of people don't, everybody listen right now, but I have these cameras list, so that's what I'll do. So next podcast, hey, did you get your cameras done? And then, that's what you're going to say to me. And I'm going to be like, hey, did you get your hats done or the, what were they, Super Mario things?
Yeah, the stuff from GameStop.
Yeah. So.
Dude, I can't, listen, most of that stuff I can't get to. I promise you.
Oh my gosh.
When you walk down my basement stairs, right? So I have one room in the back. It's an office. And then everything else was wide open. So we're talking about my basement's probably, the width might be 40 foot. It's a big square, 40 foot by 40 foot. All that space is taken up from floor to ceiling with nothing but bins filled with merchandise.
Jeez. Can you imagine if you just, like I know we talked about going to like the toy show and that kind of stuff, or we did some more shows, like how quickly I feel like you'd be able to go through more of that stuff. Because I know it takes more time to list stuff. People don't understand that it is going to take more time to list it online and deal with all that and ship it out than it is just to set up at a show.
It absolutely
can take more stuff in bulk. Like it takes 5 seconds to pull every single thing, each individual thing out of a bin and set it on the table. So maybe that's, that, like we talked before, I know deep down that's going to be beneficial for you. And I've said it's going to be beneficial for me because it'll help us weed through more stuff quicker. That's what we need. We need to, maybe it's not even, I said before about mark it down, get it out. Maybe it's just about getting it out.
It's about getting, and that goes back to the thing. Like, I know I have great stuff to sell, and I know it's going to sell without a doubt.
Yeah.
It's like, well, then when I pull it out and lose it, and then it sells, it's like I don't have it now. I got to buy more stuff to fill that space up.
Yeah.
Feels like an empty space missing out. I don't know if anybody online feels the same way, but I feel that way. It's like,
Yeah, but you can't let it be like that. I mean,
I know, can't
what?
let it be like
Look, this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna sell all that stuff, like you said, $250,000 worth of stuff. Sell all that. You can buy a bigger house,
Yeah, you're right.
and then you're gonna have even more room to fill up,
Yeah,
and you won't worry about there being so much empty space. Well, actually, I don't know. You might if you fill that thing up,
yeah, I'll feel more of it.
but I don't know if still
I
empty
tell you what, I
space.
did get in, and I'm really excited to use is I bought a new light box, 3 foot by 3 foot by 3 foot light box, and I got it off of eBay for $66, free shipping. Uh, they normally sell for $100 to 149. I couldn't believe light boxes.
Yeah,
Photo light boxes are expensive. They
they
they really went up.
they really are. I remember seeing, and again, it might have been Harry Tornado or somebody like that. I think they had gotten like a free light fixture or light box or something like that from somebody, and they like went off the price of it. They read it off, and I could not believe how pricey it
Yeah,
was. Like, man, and they just gave this to me for free. Like, I think he almost felt bad, but and that was quite a while ago. I can't necessarily fully remember, but
they're
man,
expensive. The same one
I
that I
don't.
bought for 66. They were selling for I think one had it for 99, but it wasn't the same dimensions. But they were like regularly going for like 135 to 149 regularly. I'm like, wow. Even on Amazon, same thing.
I think a lot of people would be surprised that if they heard that I don't have any big crazy lights or light box. I have a small little desk lamp that I use for my pictures, and I just have a table where I like a regular plastic foldable table that I have just a kind of some kind of white flat material, like almost like a PVC or plastic type. I mean material over on top, and then I have a backdrop with some kind of vinyl or wallpaper that looks like old rustic wood, retro wood, or something like that. And I just, like I said, I just use a little desk lamp, um, and I've used that for probably past 4 or 5 years since I
Yeah.
bought the house. That's what I used. And now, when I used to live at home, because my mom used to sell on eBay, I would use her light boxes, but I never bought any for myself when I got over here to this house. And I don't feel like I fully needed to. I mean, I did buy a ring light once from somebody at the flea market, and it lasted a week, and and then I never went back. And I'm like, you know what? I don't need it that bad. There are times where I think it does help my procrastination of listing clothes because I could use some better lighting where I list my clothes at, and I don't necessarily have it for that type of big of an area. So I mean, I have to wait till like there's a lot of sunlight or something that shining in, and it's a good day. If it's like a rainy day, it's probably not going to happen because I'm
Yeah,
not.
forget about it.
I have because I have the front porch on my house and I have a in the back porch. So either way, there's not much sunlight that comes actually in my house. So I have to wait for a right time of the day for that, and that's. I mean, I could, like I said, I could benefit from using a big light, like some kind of big box light or something like that. But I hate doing clothes anyway. I still buy them, but
I always thought about doing clothes though. It's like I have a lot of brand new clothes that I bought that I've never listed. I mean, a lot new clothes, shoes. I used to have a guy used to buy shoes from Kenny and I, and we used to get nothing but like Nikes and Adidas, and we'd pay like $3 a pair. Never used. I mean,
yeah.
sometimes you get close
shoes,
to brand
shoes
new.
aren't too bad. But then again, it's one of those things you got to clean if they're used.
You got to clean them. Yeah,
But
and it's like
and that's with clothes now too. You've seen that how I mean you're supposed to already clean them, and that's fine.
yeah,
Um, and you can kind of I feel like you can get it. Like there's some how many clothes I would buy that were new without tags, but now you're required, completely required by eBay. Like to have it in your listing saying you washed that garment.
You have to. Yep.
I don't. I haven't. I have to adjust my listing still, which I mean I think that's kind of crazy that you're being required to put that in there when it was part of their terms anyway.
It was part of their terms.
Yeah, because that's already been part of their terms, but I don't know. Like, I mean, not the fact that you had to put in there, but it's just kind of a known thing. You're not supposed to wash any clothes. I mean, not supposed to list any clothes unless you wash them for.
Right. Yeah.
So, I mean, I I definitely I mean, you can really look at clothes a lot of times because you see who you're buying off of. You know if it's new, pre-owned, or new without tags. You can almost instantly tell. You can tell by the creases and maybe the clothes if it's new without tags. I mean, how many? If somebody's taking stuff to a flea market and selling stuff in bulk, I mean, you can tell.
Sure, you can tell.
Like, you know, they're like I said, by the creases in the clothing, maybe the smell, which is it's. I don't particularly try to smell my clothing, but but if there's I hate, and I feel like I have this constantly with clothes that I buy clothes and there's like the smoke smell on them. And I have some still right now. I mean, to me, I can get that out still better. I can get that smell out a lot better in clothing than I can other items. It's almost nearly impossible. I mean, I still have that one shirt. Remember that Dale Earnhardt that I told you about?
Yeah.
Um, so like I said, this thing's sealed in the bag. And I would have the only one that's brand new, but the issue is that it smells like smoke. So I've tried different things, like trying to get the smell out, and I think at the end of the day, I'm just gonna have to wash it, because there's no way. I mean, there's different ways you can pull that smell out, and um, I'm saying ways that aren't too expensive or completely time consuming, but I think I've exhausted enough time on this. I've left it outside. I've done like put it in a tote with baking soda, try to absorb that smell up. I actually haven't done my coffee trick, so a lot of people don't know I do this trick with coffee too. If you have anything that smells like smoke, baking soda doesn't necessarily all. It takes a while, and I've had I mean, sometimes it works really well, but the coffee trick works a lot better if you take a little container with a lid, when you poke some holes in the lid and put it in a bin with your item, like a tote, seal the tote with your item. The coffee smell will be it will go into the smell of the item, like the item will smell like that. And then when I do, the item will now smell like coffee. I'll switch it out, then I'll put the baking soda in, and then it takes it all out. I don't know why, but it will take. It's like the coffee is overpowering the smoke, and then the baking soda somehow draws it all out. And especially sometimes I might have to sit it outside for like a day in the sun.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, after it's done, like it's good as new most of the time. I mean, I don't have hardly any issues doing it that way. It's
Yeah,
kind of,
try it. I mean, go try that. If you haven't tried it yet, do it again.
yeah,
On
yeah.
that.
I always forget because my issue is that I never have a free tote because I'm buying so much that I have another. I'm
I
bringing in and now, I got a free tote. I can put it in here.
We
I
got
mean,
a bunch of a whole layer of totes from the last pickup I picked up. So it was all brand new totes, a whole stack of them. And I was like, "Oh, this good. I'm going to have these on the side just in case we need them." Well, it didn't last long. They were all filled up in one day. It was like
yeah, yeah,
it was horrible. Like
yeah,
now I need more totes.
yeah. It gets like that sometimes. I mean, I love totes just because you know stack them pretty easily. My my issue is that sometimes if my items are heavy, like books,
Yeah.
it'll weigh down it'll weigh down the tote, and over time it might crack, or the one underneath might crack. It's I feel like I'm constantly buying. I mean, I get a lot from the deals I do too. Like I'm always like buying. I enjoy buying a collection and it's all in a tote, or I can find like they have an extra tote and I'll fill it, and I take it with me. So it's like I'm getting a free tote out of the deal every single time. And price those totes are not, they're not necessarily cheap anymore.
No,
They
no.
they used to be.
But it's yeah, they used to be. I
Yeah.
think the cheapest ones at Walmart at one point in time was like $4.98. I don't know what they are now, but
My shelving in the back room, I have some totes on the shelves, like for all my listed inventory, but most are bankers boxes, and I feel like they fit up there better. I've had bankers boxes for past 5 years that have no damage to them whatsoever. They're fine. I don't know. Maybe banker boxes are better in some ways.
they are. I mean, I've noticed sometimes things that I've had that it won't really fit in a banker's box. I mean, just by a minuscule amount. Like if it was
Yeah,
the banker box was just a
that
little bit.
that is the issue, that the bankers boxes aren't as big for certain items, or I can fit like only 5 items in a banker's box while I could fit 10 to 15 in a tote.
Yeah,
So it's all about the depth, or the width of the tote. I feel like
yeah,
it depends.
which makes sense. I mean,
Hmm.
but yeah, I like totes. I like them because sometimes if I have a lot of my stuff that it's in the basement, so I don't you don't have to worry about any kind of smells or any kind of.
Yeah, that I always worry. Like, what if you had like your basement got flooded or anything like that? And that's one of my concerns of me having these bankers boxes. So I think ultimately I should change it. But my shelves are like they're lifted. The bottom shelf is lifted off the ground, so it's not necessarily that high. I mean, it's not necessarily that low, so it should be high enough that if we get just an inch or two of water from in the basement, I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal.
Yeah, no, I had in a certain part of the basement, I had that water come a few years back. That's when we had like major rain or something happen,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm glad I did have totes because the totes it kept everything
Yeah.
safe. Yep. And it was all my everything in my death pile are in totes too,
Mm-hmm.
so it keeps all that safe. So yeah, having stuff in totes is good.
I've had a couple leaks in my basement. Um, One time it was kind of over my listing table. I don't know because if it's like where the like chimney type thing would go up, and it I just had pretty much just a bunch of water one morning. I woke up and I had a bunch of water all over my listing table, and of course it was the water damaged stuff that I had just listed. So I was pretty mad that I had to do that. And now I have like, and I don't know that maybe remember I had my roof, kind
Yeah,
of
you had your right
finished
your
a little
roof done.
bit not long ago. So I don't know if that maybe played a little bit of a factor in that. Um, or something, but I haven't had any issues then. And I do have a kind of bucket back there, like where that is, where that spot is, because I can reach behind my furnace, and there's like an empty spot, kind of hollow out spot that I put like a little bucket, so we'll catch some, anything I think coming down there. But I mean,
How's
it's
that
one
roof
thing.
coming along though?
Huh?
How's the roof coming along?
I mean, I haven't had any issues. It's
Good,
like great, so I'm really thankful that, and
good,
it
good.
it all turned out really well with that, because I mean that can be such a big expense to begin with. And
Yeah, again.
I mean I think a lot of people don't understand, especially within inflation and everything, that this stuff, like services like that, they're going to go through the roof, and they're going to keep going up, like I mean I know at some point I'm going to need a new AC unit outside. Uh, that thing, my neighbor has said that thing is so ancient and old. Like it's been there since like she moved in. She's one of the first people who lived in these houses in this area, and and she said that thing is. She thinks that thing's been there since she moved in.
Wow.
Hey, it's still working. So
Still working, yeah. I
knock
mean,
on wood, knock on wood.
yeah, just save that money up for right now and just
Yeah, I
and
mean, I
just
have the oldest AC unit out there. It looks so old; it's like rusted on some a bunch of pieces of it, but it's still holding in there. I had one issue like a couple years ago with it, but it wasn't with the actual unit itself. It was with the wiring on the outside, like a rat or something had chewed through some wiring, and it almost caused it to catch on fire. But yeah,
yeah, I don't want that. I
no,
can't. And
no,
by the way, I can't stand rats,
no,
mice, or
and
any of that stuff.
no,
No.
no, I can't either. I mean, we don't really. That's another thing. We don't really have, but we have some issues like with mice sometimes. Um, just because where we live across the street, there's no houses or anything. It's like
Yeah.
a area. So I think I that's one of the reasons why every once in a while we have issues. And then there's a vacant house a couple of doors down. So for anybody who's listening doesn't know, I live in a row home, and so yeah, a couple of houses down, I have a vacant house. So that I mean, that alone I feel like causes issues. It's a little worrisome. My main goal eventually, this is my main goal for reselling is to get my get a new house that's a single family home and either have like a detached garage or a big shed that I can completely work out of and sell out of. And I don't have anything actually physically in the house. Like I said, like we were talking earlier, like when you bring stuff in after exhaustion from the yard sale or flea market, and you just plop everything right on the floor and go take a nap. Well, I'll just make a quick stop at the shed or garage, drop it in there, and then I'll go take a nap, and then my house is still clean.
Yeah.
That's the
House
idea.
is still clean.
Yes,
Oh,
and I don't have to hear anything, and it's right in the same work area. That's literally what I want. I'm working towards that. I really, um, it's probably one of my biggest reselling dreams.
yeah.
Yep.
And that's a cool dream. I like that too because um, my place is yeah. I always come in. I'll drop stuff or I'll buy things or somebody will give me a call and say, "Hey, I got some stuff. Stop on. All right, stop on through," and they'll bring it in, track it into my living room, set it down in a corner. I'll buy it, and then it's like now I got to move this somewhere,
Yeah.
and I'm dead out of
Well,
room. I'm like,
it clutters that like you'll people are generally happy in a less cluttered area. So,
yeah,
and I feel like this even the home I'm in now it's too small for what I do, but I'm making the best of it. I mean, it's a 3 bedroom house, so my wife uses one of the bedrooms as her craft room that I never hardly ever see her in there. But not to say anything, but she could say the same thing. She never hardly sees me in the other bedroom that has my death pile. So,
yeah,
um, but I mean, I do go. I shouldn't say it. I went in there I think today and grabbed a couple things out, but I do go in there and I mean, the idea is to have that room cleared out eventually. I want to have everything down in this basement. I had this man cave down here, and I'm pretty much going to lose a lot of it just for my business. And I'll pack all that stuff up, and I'll when I get my,
that's a shame.
I'm not everything. I mean, I'm going to have to pack some stuff up and figure out what I want to do, or just sell some off. I mean, it just is what it is, and eventually, hopefully, I'll have the house of my dreams, what I want to do, and be able to happily live there
Yep,
forever, reselling for the rest of my life.
rest of your life. That's yeah.
A storybook ending
We love it. Storybook
for
ending. All
resellers.
right, the end.
Yeah.
We love it.
Yeah. Well,
But I tell you, our time is coming to an end today.
oh yeah, yeah. So like the end, it is a storybook ending
It's the
to us.
end. It's a storybook ending. So I want you guys, if whoever's listening, just think about this. Thank you for coming all the way to the end with us.
Yeah.
I know we're
Thank you. I don't know how many you made it, but I mean, if you are still here, we greatly appreciate it. For sure.
greatly appreciate it. And drop a like,
Yep.
comment, subscribe,
Subscribe. Yeah. If you have any
all
questions
that good
for
stuff.
us, don't be afraid to ask. I know we might not give the most accurate or best advice, so I mean, it's going to be opinionated, but
and it's going to be, real.
Yeah, yep. We love doing this, so I mean, we're happy to answer any questions
Right.
or anything that any comments anybody wants to put in. So we'll be happy with anything. Now,
Awesome. Well, we appreciate it, guys. Thank you, and you have a great day.
yep. You too, guys.
Bye.
Bye.